The murder of a courageous Russian journalist remains unsolved tonight after 3 men accused of aiding in her death were cleared by a Moscow court. Anna Politkovskaya, an outspoken critic of the Kremlin, was shot dead outside her apartment in 2006. It provoked outrage around the world over the risks faced by Russian reporters and the threat to free speech. Her lawyers said the real killers, including the man suspected of pulling the trigger, were still at large. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Miller has this report.
3 months to the day after the trial opened, the accused men entered their cage this morning in Moscow District Military Court to await the jury's verdict. The lawyer for the murdered journalist's family had already suggested that these men, 2 Chechen brothers, an ex-cop and an ex-secret agent, were all scapegoats, fall guys for the real killer. And after 2 hours, that is exactly what the jury decided. Not guilty. The 2 Chechens' lawyer declared justice had triumphed.
If we had another decision here, it would mean that the real criminals, which are still somewhere among us, would continue what they did before. The only way to stop these crimes is to find the real criminals.
The family's lawyer had reminded the jury this morning that Anna Politkovskaya would never have forgiven them for finding an innocent man guilty.
The result, a not guilty verdict for all the people who the general prosecutor accused during the course of this murder trial. We demand the real killers, and we will achieve this.
The acquitted men's delight, belying deep and deepening concerns in Russia about impunity, the growing number of violent deaths of outspoken critics of the Kremlin. The question, who killed Anna Politkovskaya, then, still unanswered. It had become pretty obvious that none of these men had pulled the trigger at 4 p.m. on the 7th of October 2006 as she made her way back to her Lesnaya Street flat after shopping for groceries. Her killer was waiting. As she got out of the lift, she was shot in the head and the chest. Today's verdict, a problem for the Kremlin. It had wanted to draw a line under this murder. Vladimir Putin, then president, now prime minister, famously complained that her death had been more damaging to Russia's reputation than her investigative reporting. But the jury simply did not believe the evidence presented by the state prosecutor, which proved as confusing as it was contradictory. All of those acquitted today were linked to the Russian intelligence service, and the trial did lift the lid a bit on the murky world of secret agents, gangsters and contract killers. But it failed to reveal who ordered Politkovskaya's killing. Her friends and colleagues suspect the answer to that may lie in Chechnya, where she exposed human rights abuse by Russian forces during 2 brutal wars in the breakaway Southern Republic. Politkovskaya's paper did its own investigation into her killing. Its journalists blame Russian intelligence for hampering their efforts.
Today's verdict was against our law enforcement institutions and corruption. Nothing works. There is not one authority that functions as it should.
4 Novaya Gazeta reporters among the 20 journalists killed since 2000. This march in memory of one of them, Anastasia Baburova, shot dead just last month alongside a lawyer who defended Anna Politkovskaya. The prosecution said it would appeal today's verdict, its failure to secure a conviction, leaving unsolved Russia's most politically charged killing in years.
Jonathan Miller reporting. We're joined now by Anna Politkovskaya's sister, Yelena Kudymova. Yelena Kudymova, what's your feeling about the ending of this trial? Is it something you ever had any faith in?
You know, I just felt today very disappointed, because we feel that all of the people who were there in the court somehow involved. You know, there was quite enough evidence during court hearings, but
you thought they were sort of minor players?
Yes, they were, probably.
Who do you think pulled the trigger? I don't mean by name, but I mean Chechen? I mean, where do you...
I have no idea, actually, you know. But actually, personally, I'm not even interested who pulled the trigger, you know. The most interesting question for the family is who ordered it and who killed, actually, Anna just by hiring a contract killer.
But that, of course, would involve putting people on trial who could never be put on trial?
Hopefully they will. You know, we just, with every new president, we always have a lot of hopes. You know, and the Mr. Medvedev is a real lawyer himself. So, unfortunately, what Anna was writing about still goes on. She was writing about this before, that law enforcement officers just are connected quite often with security services, with organized crime.
Do you think the finger of suspicion actually extends right inside the Kremlin?
No, I don't think so. Anna wrote about many other people, especially in the Caucasus, who were also quite disliked her writing. I don't mean necessarily Chechnya. It's also Dagestan and Kabardino-Balkaria and Ingushetia.
I mean, are you surprised that it even got to a trial at this point? I mean, and is there any chance another trial of more important people might be held?
That's what we hope, you know, because right now we are just back 2 years where we were at the beginning. Now we even don't have anybody involved, because we still have no killer, we still don't have the person who ordered to kill Anna, and there were even people who were suspected that they were involved now released, you know. We're back.
You and the family have not given up hope?
Oh no, no, never.
Yelena Kudimova, thank you very much indeed for joining us.